Hi, everyone. Have you ever noticed that the same kind of situation keeps appearing in your life? Maybe it's the same kind of relationship, or the same emotional wound, the same fear, or perhaps you keep finding yourself standing at what feels like the same crossroads. Even though circumstances may look completely different, why does this keep happening to me? You might ask. Could it be that some lessons aren't finished when a lifetime ends and you just carried it over? And if they aren't, do we carry them into another lifetime? I'm Diane. I'm an Akashic Records reader and an emotional energy healer, and you're watching Soul Cloud. Hello and welcome, everyone. Uh, I want to say hi to the people who are online. Hi, hello, Jax, who was here very early. Thank you, Mod Extraordinaire Jax. And Mere Dragon is here. Hi, Mere Dragon. Oops, hold on. There we go. And Batul is here. Hi, Batul. The Painless. Hi, The Painless. And Catherine is here. Hello, Catherine. And Olden Walker is here. Hi, Olden Walker. And Stephanie is here. Leah is here. Wow. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And Candy B is here. And Irene is here. Libers is here. LCGC is here. CJ and Cats is here. Hello, everyone. And to the people who are watching the replay, hello to you as well, future people. Um, if it's your first time here, hello and welcome. Soul Cloud is a show where we talk about spiritual concepts or try to answer or discuss questions, spiritual questions that keep popping up. And the question that we are trying to answer today that is something that the community asks a lot is, do unfinished lessons carry over to different lifetime? So if you're curious about that, please stick around. And during the second part of the show, we do Akashic Records readings or energy clearings. So if you're in the chat right now and you're interested in that, um, eh, please type in hashtag lesson since we're talking about soul lessons today. Um, there we go. And later on, um, we will answer the prompt. We have a prompt today. What can I learn from a recurring challenge in my life? So if you're interested in that, type in hashtag lesson. So for today, you don't have to type a question later when your name is drawn. Just say hi, and that will be okay. Again, the question is, what can I learn from a recurring challenge in my life? And also, if I'm having technical issues, chat, please let me know. I was having it a while ago. But yeah, now everything's fixed. So, what is an unfinished lesson? An unfinished lesson doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, I didn't pass my soul assignment. But instead, it can mean that an experience wasn't fully understood, wasn't fully integrated, or wasn't healed or brought into completion. That's why it's unfinished lesson. For example, a soul might encounter different themes in their lives that keeps on happening. An example is trust issues. Like, might people might be betraying you, so you keep having trust issues. Another theme that keeps on recurring might be a theme on self worth or boundaries or forgiveness. So these themes are what we call soul lessons. But does it mean that we failed when these keep on recurring? Maybe not. Most probably not, actually. It's just that we haven't fully understood it yet. That's why they can keep on repeating. Oh, thank you, Leah. Leah is saying your sound and process is good. Awesome. Okay. So the circumstances in these situations don't necessarily repeat, but the themes might. And how can they appear across lifetimes? So, for example, we might encounter different people, but the same pattern. Like, for example, for lovers or for relationships, we might be able to encounter people who keep pushing our boundaries or pushing us out of the things that we are not comfortable with, or sometimes there are different circumstances but the same emotional wound gets triggered, or sometimes we're actually the one in the opposite of the spectrum. For example, in betrayal, if you're a soul who wants to learn about betrayal, maybe a few lifetimes you can incarnate as the person who keeps on getting betrayed so that you feel it and you learn more about it. But at a certain point, you realize what is the perspective of the person who is betraying, so I can understand it better. Maybe I can incarnate into that person for a lifetime. And so the roles might change. You might become the betrayer so that you can learn that perspective. And another example is for someone who keeps on repeating or encountering situations where they or they must establish boundaries. The people involved might be completely different. And you might notice that this doesn't only happen in different lifetimes, but it can happen in a single lifetime. We keep on meeting people who they're not the same people, but the theme keeps on recurring. But the theme or the invitation that keeps on happening, or underneath it all, there's this same invitation. Can you honor yourself without abandoning yourself? It's something that they ask or we ask over and over when it comes to lessons about boundaries. So, does the soul have to? I'm just going to star some of the questions here. So, since we now know what an unfinished lesson is, um, does the soul have to keep on repeating this lesson or this theme in our lives? That's another question that I get asked a lot. And the answer is not necessarily. Remember that we have our own free will. So life isn't a school where someone is standing over us like a teacher with a red pen or a stick who says, incorrect, try again, try again, try again. Our souls might revisit the theme, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the exact lesson has to be repeated until we achieve this sort of perfection. Because growth isn't always linear. Sometimes we understand something intellectually in one lifetime and embody it more deeply in another. So we just want to like get to know the theme a lot more or better. But at some point, if we realize that, hey, I don't want to keep repeating this again, you might opt not to. At least, but this isn't something that happens while we're incarnated. This is something that happens while we're preparing for our lifetimes before we incarnate. So yeah, and the question that other people ask often is, can we resolve something in this lifetime? Can we actually finish these lessons in a lifetime? Well, absolutely. You don't have to wait for another incarnation. If you recognize a recurring pattern now, you can work it now. So you can ask, what am I being invited to understand? Or what pattern am I repeating? Or what am I ready to release? What choice would I make differently now? And what would integration look like for me? So, our goal isn't to become perfect. When we chase perfection, it's just going to be disappointment after disappointment. It's hard to be perfect. I don't know if it's even possible, but our goal is to be more conscious about ourselves in the sense that we know ourselves. So what does it actually mean or what does it look like when we learn a soul lesson? Learning a soul lesson doesn't necessarily mean this will never happen to me again. Like the theme will not occur to me again. But instead, it might mean the experience no longer has the same power over you. For example, I gave out an example a while ago about trust and betrayal. So when someone betrays us, it might be very triggering for us because we've been betrayed over and over and over. But when we learn that lesson, it might look like, okay, this person has betrayed me. So that's on them. It's not on me. I'm going to move forward. It's not that it didn't happen. It did happen. And I choose to move forward. It can look like that. For example, we respond differently. We recognize the pattern sooner and we make different choices. And we no longer need the same circumstances to teach us the same things. I think that's a much more nuanced way of understanding soul growth. So another good example for this situation, for this topic, I think, is someone who keeps on repeatedly experiencing abandonment, for example. So they might assume that their soul lesson is, I need to stop being abandoned. So for the first few lifetimes, they cling to someone or they try to um, try to get the person to not abandon them. But perhaps the deeper lesson isn't about preventing abandonment at all. Perhaps it is about learning that their sense of worth doesn't depend on whether someone stays or goes. So in the next lifetimes that they have, and they learn that it doesn't matter whether they get abandoned or not. They love themselves either way. And I think that's beautiful. And that's something that I have witnessed. Um, and it's awesome. It gives us a deeper understanding of things. And once they understand that, the entire meaning of the experience changes. So yeah, that's awesome. Hold on, I'm just gonna check on the comments. Thank you so much, Leah. Leah is saying, thank you, everyone. Please hit the like and subscribe. Yes, please. It helps the channels a lot. Okay. Yes, please. Type in hashtag lesson. Huh? Oh, this was a while ago. Okay. Catherine was saying, has anyone ever had a repeated pattern with different people that have the same name? This is cool. Um, I haven't experienced it. Usually it's the theme that keeps on happening. For example, yeah, abandonment. Someone who keeps on abandoning you or betraying you when it comes to trust. But it's fascinating that you have an issue. That you have issues with Jennifer's. This is the first time I heard of that. Awesome. And Tina is saying, okay, whatever theme pattern evolves each incarnation, uh, is it possible? I'm not quite sure about your question, Tina. Uh, oh, you mean do the themes and patterns evolve in each incarnation? Yes. Um, or it might also repeat. It depends on the soul plan, or it depends on the soul's choice, but it can evolve. Like I've mentioned a while ago, for one lifetime, they might be the one who keeps on getting betrayed by a friend or a lover or someone. But in the next incarnation or in the succeeding incarnation, they might be the one who's betraying another person because they want to understand from that perspective. So yeah, it can evolve in different incarnations. So I hope that answers your question, Tina. I hope I understood your question correctly. Okay, Iron Fire Horse is saying, "Me too, Catherine." Dave Smith has come into my life several times. Different person, same garbage. It's very interesting. Awesome. And the painless is saying, "I guess that is this lifetime. Uh, this lifetime for me, I can let go." That's powerful that you say that, the painless. When you say that, I can let go. Um, and I wish you all the best for that. And hello to the people who are just coming in. I don't think I'm. Hello, Audra. Nice to see you. And Satofi is here. Hello, Sue. Good morning. And Linda Keltzer is here. Hello, Linda. And Mere Dragon is here. Hello, Mere Dragon. And Cindy Shay is here. Hello, Sherry. And again, the hashtag for today, if you're interested in getting a mini reading, is hashtag lesson. So you just need to type it once, and then you're in for the draw for the entire episode. And the question that we will be answering today is, what can I learn from a recurring challenge in my life? So yeah, I hope this question would be helpful in recognizing some of the repeating patterns if you haven't done it yet. And hello, Kiara Jade, who's here, and Barbara Hartlove. Hi, Barbara. Again, the hashtag is hashtag lesson. I'm gonna give you a few seconds, or yeah, a few seconds to type that in, and after the draw, we'll open the records. Or Fleet M. Congratulations, Fleet, and please, oh, please say hi in the chat. I was about to say type your question, but we have a question for today. Mangled Unicorn Jax, congratulations, Jax, and please say hi in the chat. Or say hi, hot diggity dog. Barbara Hartlove, congratulations, Barbara. Hot diggity dog. There we go. And last for this round. Akila. Hi, Akila. Are you back? So that's Fleet M, Mangled Unicorn, Barbara Hartlove, and Akila. Okay. I got tequila. Okay, I got all four. Let's not forget to open the records. So everyone, let's take three deep breaths. Only the highest frequency of love and light can remain in the sacred space and all objects in the sacred space for the highest good of this group, consisting of myself, those who are watching right now, those who will join us later, and those who will watch the replay. All other energies must leave now. All other energies must leave now. All other energies must leave now. Now I call in the highest level of the divine that knows that love is the power and the truth from which we read. Our highest level guides and angels to help us with this reading. Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron, please hold the sacred space. And so it is. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good, the highest good of all, and the most benevolent outcome. Akashic Records Master, Spirit Guides, and Angels, please let us know this group in the light of the Akashic Records and enable us to share the wisdom and compassion that the Masters, teachers, and loved ones have for us. The records are now open. Okay. You know what's very interesting about these readings, and I know I say this almost every episode, but it's just amazing. Even if your name isn't drawn, or you're just listening in, or you're watching the replay, the messages that come through from the Akashic records, sometimes it's not just applicable to the person we are reading for. Um, because the Akashic records masters know that, hey, other people are watching, sometimes they might give a message, not just for one person, but for a lot of people. So if the message resonates for you, if a message for someone resonates for you, even if you don't have the same lifetime, but the themes, the patterns, they resonate with you. Take the message because it's also yours. That's what's very powerful about Akashic Records readings that I have experienced. Uh, so, yeah, if you're watching the replay and something resonates for you, take it. Oh, I want to highlight this comment from Batul, who is saying, yeah, I have a repeating pattern with my family every time I move forward in my life. Something happens that returns me to point zero. Stuck in the family house with no job, no money, and making it. I hope you get drawn in the next round, Batul. But yeah, this topic might be perfect for you. Again, we will be answering what can I learn from a recurring challenge in my life? So, first person we were reading for is Fleet M. I'll use cards. I'm drawn to use cards for you, Fleet, and I'm using the Soul's Journey lesson cards by James Van Praag. I hope I didn't butcher that name. You know me in names, everyone. I mispronounce names. Just this period. Okay. The recurring pattern that I drew for you is guilt, Fleet M. Okay. How is this manifesting in their life right now? How is that? Is it showing up, Masters? Okay, Fleet. Can you verify this, validate this for me? Are there people in your life who are guilt tripping you in the sense that, okay, you do something and then they emotionally manipulate you by guilting you or making you feel guilty about something that you don't need to be or to feel guilty about? That's what I'm getting, at least in the present right now. Um, that there might be people who are trying to emotionally manipulate you by doing that. And I'm checking your past lives, and one popped out, and it's a lifetime that you had in Egypt. You were female in that lifetime. Okay, okay. You were one of the servants of a noble family, so you were wearing like white clothes. You were trying to fetch water, or you were fetching water using like a clay jar. And one of the guys, or one of the guards, they had a thing for you. One of the guards had a thing for you, and he was trying to court you on the way back to the main house. He was forcing himself, unfortunately, and you accidentally dropped the jar, the water jar, and it broke. And that's what you felt guilty about. And that's what the guy, this is where it started. The guy was trying to guilt trip you and scare you because you didn't like him. You didn't like the guy because you felt off with him. You felt uncomfortable. Uh, this person in her life right now. So since you didn't like him, and he was very controlling, he was very forceful. He was saying things like, "Okay, uh, I wouldn't tell anyone that you broke the jar if you go out with me." That's how emotionally manipulative that person is. And I don't know if, oh, okay, thank you for that validation, Fleet. And Fleet just said yes to the question a while ago. But yeah, this is a recurring pattern for you. Okay, what can she learn from this recurring pattern? Oh, okay. When I asked what you can learn from this recurring challenge in your life, the word no just popped in my face, in my mind's eye. What you can learn from that is you can say no. If someone is making you feel uncomfortable or someone is making you feel guilty, you can say no. And you can establish boundaries with that person or with those people who are trying to emotionally manipulate you. Right now, what I'm feeling is family. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but family or close relationships, either family or close friends, whenever you do something that they don't like, they will find a way to make you feel guilty about that, about saying no. But what I'm getting from the Akashic Records is that you can say no. You don't have to feel guilty about saying no, especially when something makes you feel uncomfortable. Okay, I'm saying family. Yeah. You don't have to say yes to them. And I keep hearing the word abandonment or, oh, okay. You don't have to abandon yourself for them to love you. That is what I keep hearing. Don't abandon yourself because the people who love you, they will love you even when you say no. And if they don't, That's something for you to consider. But I hope that helps. That lesson and that learning about boundaries, establishing better boundaries, and saying no. Um, yeah, I hope that's what you take away from this reading, Fleet M. And thank you so much for letting me read for you today. And I wish you all the best. Hello and welcome to Rohit. Uh, for you to be able to get into the next draw for readings, please type in hashtag lesson. Okay. Fleet M is saying, I will say no, started today. That's awesome, Fleet. Okay. Next person is Jacqueline. Okay. What can she learn from a recurring pattern or recurring challenge in her life? What is the recurring challenge, Masters? Okay. The recurring pattern in your life is service, which sounds true. Like I can't even make this up. I mean, I know you a bit personally, Jacqueline, and this sounds very fitting for you. Service, because you're being of service to a lot of people. Okay. What can she learn from this recurring challenge? Why is it even a recurring challenge, Masters? Okay. Like right now, what I'm getting is that okay, you have been of service for many lifetimes. But the challenge in this lifetime is okay, how much will I'm hearing how much will you give? Because sometimes you keep on giving without mm, without leaving some for yourself. That is why this has become a challenge. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You need reciprocated energy for you to be able to move forward. Otherwise, you will get drained. In the past, there were people, communities who would reciprocate that energy with you. But in this lifetime, it's well, there are only a few. What lesson can she learn from this pattern or this challenge, Masters? Okay, I just heard self love. That it's okay to love yourself during this time when you are being of service. Otherwise, it's going to affect you. Busted. Yeah, spirit tends to call us out. So if you're not ready to be called out by spirit, maybe don't put in the hashtag. I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm hearing self love because sometimes when you help other people and you don't leave things for yourself, you are abandoning yourself that way. You might also say yes to the things where you want to say no because you feel like that is being of service to others. And that's another layer to this lesson. Is helping someone always helping someone? Or does helping someone mean you might be enabling them? In the past, this layer was not there. The people you help, they will help you back. They will reciprocate the energy. But in this lifetime, it might be more difficult. Okay. Double busted. Okay. I'm glad you heard that, Jax. Okay. But yeah, I had hoped this is helpful. And Jax, thank you so much for everything. Um, for being for helping with the channel with the links and all. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and I wish you all the best. Okay, next person is Barbara Hartlove. Barbara, okay, what is a recurring challenge in Barbara's life right now? Okay, Barbara, the card that I pulled for you, the recurring challenge in your life right now is doubt. And it says, I release the need to know all the answers. But I'm more focused on the word doubt. Sorry. I just felt my solar plexus like warm up. How is this doubt challenge showing up in her life? This is more about self doubt, Barbara. Is that why she incarnated as a woman? Okay. Barbara, have you ever questioned yourself? Because this word keeps coming up, woman, woman, woman. Have you ever questioned why you incarnated as female in this lifetime? Because I'm getting a sense that this is part of the reason why you incarnated as female in this lifetime. You wanted to learn about self-worth, and you're having you know you're going to have more challenges as a woman, so you incarnated as one. And I keep hearing that, like, my quote unquote, my opinions don't matter, my opinions aren't heard as much, and I feel like I have to raise my voice just to be heard. I don't know if that resonates for you, but that's something that I was hearing. Is this from this lifetime? Okay, this was from another lifetime. Was this in Rome? Okay, Rome. Okay, you had a past lifetime in Rome, is what they're showing me, as a woman, and you were a wife to a soldier. And no matter what you say to him, it just doesn't, or it didn't get through him. Like, you needed help with household. During that time, it was the man's job, like, to hire servants, hire people, and you needed some help in the house because you were pregnant, and it was just a lot for you. But you felt like the husband wasn't listening. He was more concerned with his career as a soldier, and so you felt like you weren't being heard. So that theme might keep on recurring, or might be recurring in this lifetime for you. I don't know if you can validate that, but that's the start for you. Oops. But that was the start for you about having self doubt, because you felt like he wasn't listening to you, because you're not powerful enough, or you're not beautiful enough, or you're just not enough. That was the effect on you when your husband then didn't listen to you. Like, you felt like you weren't enough. So you started having self doubt. But it's more about people not hearing your opinion. That's why you feel like you have doubts about yourself. Okay, what can she learn from this lesson, Masters? Or from this challenge? What I'm hearing is it doesn't matter if people don't hear me. I am whole. I am complete. I am worthy on my own. So it doesn't matter whether people hear you or not. Oh, okay. Barbara Hartlove is saying, I find it easier to do things myself. That makes sense. Because if you didn't receive help during that time in Rome, you would have the tendency to just try to do things by yourself. But yeah, the lesson that you're trying to learn is having confidence in yourself and believing in yourself that you can. That is what you can learn from this recurring challenge in your life. Awesome. This is amazing, Barbara. This is very powerful. Barbara is saying, I am focusing on myself right now, or I am focusing on myself now. Perfect. So thank you so much, Barbara, for allowing me to read for you. I hope you got something out of the reading by getting to know more about yourself through a past life in that one in Rome. So thank you for letting me read for you today. Next person is Akila. Hi, Akila. How are you? Okay, what is a recurring challenge in Akila's life? Excuse me. Akila, the card that I pulled for you is regret. So this is the recurring challenge in your life. Where was this? Was this in South America? I'm seeing a past lifetime that you had. Just not sure where this is, but I'm getting South America. Somewhere in South America. You were female in that lifetime. Or baby dying. More of a baby dying. I'm trying to find the words to describe this. Uh, but you were a woman who had just given birth to a baby boy, but the baby was very sickly uh, during the beginning of his life. Okay. Uh, you did your best for the baby, for your son back then. Uh, since he was very sick, you would stay up late to breastfeed him and to take care of him. There were other people who were helping you, but they were also busy, you know. Um, so most of the time, it was just you. You didn't receive the help or as much help as you needed at this time or at that time. And what I'm seeing is that the baby unfortunately passed away. And this happened when you were tired because you were spending a lot of time at night, in the morning, taking care of the baby. Uh, yeah, you got tired, which is understandable. And when you woke up, because you fell asleep, when you woke up, the baby wouldn't, baby wouldn't wake up. Uh, the baby had passed away while you were asleep. So you felt guilt and regret from that. And the way this is manifesting, I think, is there's this fear that if you don't work too hard or you don't work as hard as you can, something bad is going to happen. And it's stemming from that guilt and from that regret. Kids should learn from that experience. I just asked what you can learn from that experience, and I heard it's not your fault. It wasn't your fault. You tried your best for the baby, and there are things that you couldn't control. Like what I'm seeing was that there's an issue with the baby's lungs. It was a congenital it was a congenital issue with the baby. So even though you tried your best at that time, you don't have the technology to heal that. So even if you tried your best, there are just things that you couldn't control, and that was one of it. So one of the lessons that you can learn from that lifetime, or and you're trying to learn, is one, to let go of the guilt and regret. The second one is that there are things that you can't control. Forgiveness is another. Oh, they're raining on lessons. Uh, Forgiveness is another, because you needed to forgive yourself for that, for falling asleep. I don't know if that resonates for you or if that makes sense for you, Akila, but that is what the records were showing me. Um, I keep hearing to forgive yourself for that, but I hope that helps, Akila, and thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Oh, okay. Akila was saying, I was just having a discussion on Friday with a friend. We were talking about our miscarriage and how we carry the burden, thinking we did something wrong. I just said to her, it's not our fault. It really isn't. Or it really wasn't. Like I keep hearing, and this was something that actually came from the baby. Like it wasn't your fault. Even the baby wasn't blaming you for it. Um, he felt love. He felt so much love during that short duration of the time, and that was enough for him. So yeah, please. And if this reading resonates for other people as well, please know that it wasn't your fault. It really wasn't. Happy tears. I'm glad. Happy tears. Thank you so much, Shakila. Okay. It's time for us to draw for another set of readings, everyone. So, again, if you haven't done it yet, our hashtag for today is hashtag lesson. Please type it in. I'll draw for another four people for the next one. Ta-da. Mere Dragon. Congratulations, Mere Dragon, and please say hi in the chat. Leah Omega 8, congratulations, Leah. And please let us know that you're still here. Libers 1964. Congratulations, Libers, and please say hi in the chat. Candy B 955. Congratulations, Candy. And please say hi in the chat. Okay, again, that's Mirror Dragon, Leo Omega 8, Libers, and Candy. Okay, got Leah, Libers. So I'm still waiting for Mirror Dragon. Okay, I see Candy. Just waiting for Mirror Dragon. So while we're waiting for Mirror Dragon, I'm going to start reading for Leah. And if Mirror Dragon doesn't show up, I'm going to draw for another. Okay, what is a recurring challenge in Leah's life? Okay. Leah, the recurring challenge in your life is about forgiveness. And it says, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Forgiveness. So, how is this challenge manifesting or showing up in her present life, Master? I keep hearing it's the small things. It's not always the big things that trigger you, or yeah, okay. It's not always the small things, is what I'm hearing from the Akashic Records. But sometimes people do things that irk you. Like someone does something and you find it very annoying. And I'm getting the sense that it might ruin your day because it keeps on repeating in your mind. Okay, can we go back to where this started, please? Was this on Earth? Was it a civil war somewhere? Okay. I'm not expecting. I wasn't expecting this vision, but when I asked where this started, why you keep, why you keep being irked with the smallest things, they showed me a war zone, and this was a civil war somewhere. Uh, I can't pinpoint like where, but it feels a bit more recent, like in the 1800s to 1900s. They're correcting me. 1700s rather. You were a commander of a squad, so you were male in that lifetime. I'm seeing your squad carrying rifles, and you were in a ditch and exchanging fire with another set of soldiers. What did her man do? Okay, you were instructing them. Okay, don't do this, don't do that, and this were protocol at that time. Like, don't stick your head out of the ditch because you're going to get shot. But they got curious, and it didn't end well for them. So for you, it felt like these were small things, but they ended up being big because it cost people's lives. Even taking care of their rifles. You told them. You told them to take care of their rifles. But some of them didn't, and they got stuck. I mean, the bullets got stuck. It's all these little things. And you thought at that time, if only, if only they had listened and did their small bits, things could have ended better or ended differently. And it's a thinking that you still carry with you, even if it's subconsciously. That's why even the smallest things might irk you because you understand that collectively it paints a bigger picture. Okay. The challenge for you is that back then it really was a matter of life and death. But the circumstances, even though the theme is the same in this lifetime, the circumstances are different. So the question for you is that thinking still applicable to you, or do you learn how to forgive the small things? It is a challenge, but it will also be freeing, is what I'm hearing. Because even though they feel small, it can ruin your day. And it has ruined your day multiple times, is what I'm hearing. I don't know if that makes sense for you, Leah. Oh, okay. Leah is saying, I still pay attention to details and I'm very prepared military. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. You felt responsible back then for your squad because they were your men. Part of it is also like blaming yourself. And this ties to the previous reading. There are things that you can't control. Um, you can control how you act, but you can't control other people's actions. So even though you have reminded them multiple times to do their job and to do their part, maintain their rifles, don't stick their head out of the ditch, there's nothing you could have done because it was their own choice. There was their own action. So you can also forgive yourself for this. Yeah. Leah is saying, I can't hold on to judgments or expectations. I'm learning. Yeah, it is a learning process. And I hope that you are being patient with yourself. This is a very common theme for everyone, but it looks different for each of us. Forgiveness might look different for each of us. And the circumstances where we're at while we're learning forgiveness might look different. So I hope that you're being patient with yourself, Leah. I hope that helps. And thank you for letting me do this reading for you. So I'm still looking for a comment from Mere Dragon. I'm not seeing anything. If she doesn't show up by the third reading, sorry, I'll draw for another. And hello, Timmy. Oops. Next person is Labors. Labors. Hi, Labors. Okay, what is a recurring challenge in Labors' life? Okay, the recurring challenge in your life is envy. And it says, I'm the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Okay, how is this showing up in Libra's life, Masters? Okay, in this lifetime, it's not that you're envying other people, it's that people envy you. Like, I'm seeing you standing in front of a group of quote unquote friends, and they are very, when they talk to you, they talk to you very pleasantly. But when you turn your back, it's a different story. Like, what they're showing to me is that their color changes, so their attitude changes. I don't know if you can validate this, Libers, but that's what I'm being shown in the records. That they might backstab you or they might betray you when you turn your back because they feel envious about the things that you have accomplished, and they feel envious about the things that you have. So, what you have and what you have accomplished. Okay, what can she learn? What can Libras learn from this recurring pattern, please? Okay, one, show me where it started. No, not relevant. Okay. What can she learn from this, please? Okay. What I'm hearing is okay. What I'm hearing is to protect yourself. I'm being shown like a bubble, an energetic bubble around you to protect yourself. You know, these people are up to no good when it comes to you, but you're too nice. That's what I'm hearing. You're too nice to turn them away. But a lesson that you're trying to learn is to protect yourself and to prioritize your peace. They just ended with that. Prioritize your peace. Because if you know that some people will not be good for you, the way they treat you isn't how you want yourself to be treated. Why keep them in your life? Sometimes we need to let go so that you and them can both grow. This is a painful lesson for a lot of people. How to let go of things, of situations, of people who are not aligned with you. Okay. I'm hearing because you love them. When I asked why are you why keep them, I heard it's because they love you, because you love them. So yeah, it might be a painful experience, but sometimes we can love people from afar, and it's hard. It's a hard lesson to learn, but that is what you can learn: establishing boundaries, protecting yourself, prioritizing your peace, and at some point, maybe even letting go. Okay. Libras is saying, I'm not even sure why. My life is boring normal. Sometimes what we see as boring or normal isn't something that others see. Uh, they see the grass is green on your side, and they don't realize that, hey, some patches of my grass are also green. They focus on the dry ones, unfortunately. Okay. Libras is saying, thank you. This makes a lot of sense on many different levels and relationships. I'm glad. I'm glad, Libras. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, and I hope that helps. Okay. I'm not seeing a comment from Mere Dragon. So after Candy B, I'll be drawing for another person. Hi, Candy. Okay. What recurring pattern or recurring? What is a recurring challenge in Candy's life, please? Okay. The card that I pulled for you is honesty, and it says, "I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself." Okay. How is it showing up for Candy's life right now, please, Masters? I don't know if you can validate this for me, Candy, but they're literally like putting the word liar on my face. I don't know if you're surrounded by people who continuously lie to you. Okay, they're softening it. The Akashic Records masters are softening it. Um, they try to make excuses. There might be people around you who try to make excuses for their behavior. Can you show me where this started, please? Honesty, lesson in lying. Is this in Atlantis? Hmm. Is she the man or the woman? Okay, the husband is a politician. Okay. What I'm seeing is actually a pretty old lifetime that you had, Candy. You had a past lifetime in Atlantis, and you had a partner. You were a woman in that lifetime. You had a partner who was like a part of a council. So he was a political leader, and you were against some of the things, the policies that your husband was proposing at that time. And this is where it all started for you. Your husband would make excuses like, this will be beneficial for our people, is what your husband would say. But you understood that your husband in that lifetime, your partner, had his own self interest in mind while he was proposing this. He was part of the faction that wanted to weaponize crystals or weaponize the technology that Atlantis had. And you were very much against that at the time. What I'm hearing from you in that lifetime is, how much can I tolerate? I know this isn't the truth, but he keeps on repeating it, is what I'm hearing. Okay. What can she learn from that experience and from the experience that she might have right now, Masters? Okay, I'm hearing discernment. You're trying to learn discernment from that point in your life. Because during that time, part of you knew that he wasn't telling the truth to you. But there's also this part who kept on hoping. I hope he's telling the truth to me. Okay. Because you are the kind of person who sees the best in people. You try to diminish that part of them that is lying because you focus on the part of them that is good, that is intrinsically good. And that's nice and all. But I'm hearing that the lesson that you're trying to learn is discernment and trying to see people as they are, not just the good parts, but also their messy parts. The parts of them who aren't telling the truth, the part of them that keeps doing things against their own words. The lesson that you're trying to learn is to see all of that, to see the entirety of a person and to discern what they truly want, what they truly mean, not just through their words, but through their actions. I don't know. They're not showing me how it's manifesting in this lifetime, but they showed me that lifetime in the past where this was happening. I don't know if that resonates for you. Oh, okay. Candy says, I usually pick up on lies, and yes, I do see or at least try to see the good in them. But I hope that helps, Candy. And thank you for letting me do this reading for you. Okay, next person. Since Mirror Dragon is not here, let's draw for another person. Polly. Congratulations, Polly. And please say hi in the chat. Oh, this is interesting. Uh, Mangled Unicorn is saying, fun fact, if your message had some tech issues, try watching the playback, and sometimes the playback is normal. Awesome. I just see the playback. I can't see the live since I'm on the other side of the screen. But that's awesome. I'm just waiting for Polly to say hi in the chat. If not, I'll draw for another. Sometimes the streams can be delayed on some people's devices. And everyone, if you didn't get a reading or you didn't get drawn, if any of the messages resonate for you, take it. That message is also for you. If not, don't make it fit. And also, I'm available for private readings. My details are in the description. So just click on the description, look for the email me, and let's schedule something. Oh, Catherine is asking, wondered if I could ask a question on private readings. If you sign up for one, we can ask a certain number of questions. Not sure how that works for you. Yes, you can. It's time based. I offer 30-minute private readings or 1 hour private readings based on your preference. There are specific topics. For example, I offer Starseed, Akashic Records readings, or your starseed lineage if you're interested in that, in knowing where you've been in this universe or in this galaxy. I do that. So every lifetime that you had or uh, that you incarnated on, every star system that you incarnated on, we'll talk about that during the private reading. Yeah. Catherine is saying, "Gotcha." Well, that was timely question based on your comment. You might be psychic, Catherine. I'm not seeing Polly, so let's draw for another. LCGs or LCGC, congratulations. And please say hi in the chat if you're still here. Timmy is saying going back to the playback also allows you to time travel in the past, which is fun. This is uh this is funny because when we're doing live, we refer to them as future people. I didn't think of it from this perspective, but yeah, awesome. Again, that's LCGC or LCGs. If you're still here, please say hi. Oh, I'm not feeling her then. I'm going to check. I'm going to check the chat if they're still here. Turn down the volume. Okay. Oh, it doesn't work on phone. Okay. I don't think she's here. So let's draw for another. Satofi? Is Satofi here? Oh, Polly is here. Okay. This is Polly. There we go. Hi, Polly. Okay. What can Polly learn from our challenge? What's the recurring challenge in Polly's life? Okay. Uh, what I got, the card that I pulled for you is Death. And it says, I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. I don't feel this in the sense that there's a recurring pattern of death itself, like literal deaths, but more about endings, things ending and beginning for you. But I feel like the challenge is that a lot of us don't see it as beginnings. We see the end, and that's it for us, unfortunately. Uh, so the challenge is seeing the beginnings and endings. I'm going to see how this is manifesting or showing up in your life if the masters can show. Okay, I'm saying no. Okay, then you want to see a past life. You want to show me a past life, masters? Okay. Where did it start for Polly? They're showing me a river. Is this in Egypt? Okay, this is an Egyptian lifetime. The river that they're showing me is the River Nile. Okay, can you show me what happened in the river, please? Okay. This is interesting. They weren't showing me like a huge event that happened. They were just showing me you, a woman who's like hanging out near the river and watching the river flow. And during the time that you were there, you were seeing fishes and different sizes of fish and different animals, actually. And you were being shown the food chain. Like this animal, this fish would eat this thing, and then something will eat the fish, or a human will catch the fish and then eat it. And then you realize the flow or the food chain, the flow of life. You live because you were eating something alive. And it doesn't have to be like an animal. You're seeing plants too. You realize this for plants. And so, what might be an end for something like the fish would be a beginning for the human. And it struck you a lot in that lifetime. Like, it's not a dramatic thing, like something happening to you, but it was a realization that you had in that lifetime that, okay, some things must end for another to continue or to begin. So, death isn't something that is always sad. You saw it as something that might be necessary for other people to continue or for other species to continue living. What can she learn from that? Acceptance. The lesson that you're trying to learn is acceptance, accepting nature, accepting the natural occurrences. Death is part of life and also part of how other life, other species would continue. And it is a continued process, a continuous process of acceptance for you. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, it is very interesting. Like, there's nothing dramatic that happened, but that realization struck you. And it's something that you carry with you. It might not be something that is challenging for you at the moment, but something that you are teaching other people in this lifetime. Yeah, I'm getting a yes on it. It's something that you're teaching other people right now, that endings can be a continuation for others or a new beginning for others, that life flows. I don't know how to describe it, but the energy is just, it feels like a cycle. You understand that cycle very much. That's why you are able to teach it to others. And you respect nature a lot, is what I'm getting. You respect it a lot and you understand the flow of life a lot. That's beautiful, Polly. That's a beautiful lesson to carry. So, but I hope this reading helps. Okay. Polly says that makes sense. I think it's teaching other people acceptance. I think so too. Like I said, it's not dramatic, and it wasn't like traumatic for you, dramatic or traumatic, but it's a lesson learned nevertheless. And it doesn't diminish the fact that it is a lesson learned. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, Polly. Okay. That concludes the ratings for today, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. I'm just going to close the records for now. Let's take 3 deep breaths. I would like to close by thanking the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion. I would like to close by thanking the Akashic Records masters for their point of view. And I would like to close by thanking the divine source for all the knowledge and healing. The records are now closed, amen. The records are now closed, amen. The records are now closed, amen. Your energy stays with you, and my energy stays with me. So, everyone, I will be back again tomorrow with Gerald, Tanis, and Jennifer for Twillo Talk. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting tomorrow. And then again on, wait, let me just check my calendar. On Thursday or on Wednesday, your time, I will be on again with Linda de Gonzalez for Into the Ether. So if you didn't get readings today, maybe you can try then. And I'll be back again on uh, the 14th. Start converting the date, the 14th with Annie Bear and with a new show, actually. So, yeah, please look forward. It's going to be an interesting week for me. I hope it'll be interesting for you as well. If you haven't done it yet, please like this video and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next shows. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around and sticking by. So perhaps the unfinished lesson isn't something we fail to complete. Perhaps it's simply an invitation that remains open. Sometimes people change, the circumstances change, even the lifetime may change. But the deeper question remains, can I choose differently this time? Can I understand this more deeply? Can I meet this experience with a little more awareness than I did before? And maybe that's what soul growth really is, not becoming perfect and not passing some cosmic test, but becoming more conscious of the choices that we make. Because even if a theme follows us through lifetimes, we still have the free will to exercise in how we meet it. The path may circle back to a familiar place, but that doesn't mean that we have to walk the same road again. Sometimes the lesson is simply recognizing that there's another path available that I can take. So thank you again for joining me here on Soul Cloud. And I hope today's conversation gave you something to reflect on. Not just about past lives, but about the patterns and choices that are unfolding in your life right now. So everyone, until next time, stay curious about the soul. Bye.